So I'm going to be showing you how you can actually structure your portfolio, because I noticed that there is this gap between UI and UX, and a lot of people don't actually know how to structure their portfolio. And before now, you might be thinking that portfolio is just when you showcase your work, the work you've done, or probably all the beautiful designs you've made, and that actually works as something that you can have in your portfolio. But far from that, that is not what should be on your portfolio, right? I will show you what these guys are actually looking out for, because I've in the past I've gotten a lot of messages based on the kind of portfolio that I have, and I'm going to show you some of the messages that I've gotten over the years about from different companies. Even Meta reached out to me at some point. I can't even tell, maybe because of the way I structured my portfolio, because of the contents that I've been sharing on LinkedIn. But at some point, they reached out to me. The hiring team actually reached out to me on LinkedIn, and they were like, "Hey, are you open to work?" I think that was when I was with my former company, right? So I'm going to show you how you can actually do this, and I'm going to show you this with results, because some of the things that I've done, I have results to back it up. So it's not based on it's not a theory or something that I just read up somewhere, or just going to make everything up and say, okay, I'm just doing this because I want to grow my channel. Now it's far from that. I'm just showing you this because I want you to grow as a designer. I want to see so many good designers out there. I want to see people make beautiful designs. That's the reason why I'm actually taking my time to make this video, because I've just been trying to I've tried so much to find time to make this kind of video to show young designers how to structure their portfolio. Probably maybe not just for young designers, but if you're also working with a company, this video will be very helpful for you, because of uncertainty, anything can happen at any time. So if you fall back to the job market, you won't struggle to get yourself into the next company, because most people, when they get a job, they will forget to build, or they will just throw that aside. Hey, I'm no longer going to invest on building portfolios or updating my portfolios. No, that's one mistake people make. The best time to actually start building your portfolio is when you're already in a job, right? Because most times, yeah, we know that some clients will not allow you to put their product out there, but you can actually work on something and look at a template that I'm going to show you, then use it as a guide to make yours. And I'm going to show you how you can do this, even if you've not worked on a real life project. The portfolio itself, putting it up together, takes me up to a month, but the whole process takes like, some took like almost 2 years, because there's a project that I actually worked on for 2 years. So I have to, imagine when you compile your 2 years journey into just one single case study. And that's like, it's gonna be long, but you just have to try as much as possible to make it short, because most of the case studies that I have now, so many hiring managers might not have the time to read, because they're already going through tons of portfolios and all that. But you should actually find a way to hit the point. I went into details, almost all the things that I did on that project. I just found a way to actually highlight that in my case study. So that is just what I did. I actually have 4 case studies on my portfolio, my Behance portfolio. So I'm going to show you guys how I did this in Figma, then how I actually uploaded it on Behance. I will advise you to have your portfolio on Behance if you want to do yours, host yours as a private website. You can do that, but that doesn't guarantee that you get a job, or that doesn't guarantee that you know what you're doing. But what actually guarantees that you know what you're doing is how you structure this portfolio, because a lot of people do their portfolio once they finish the design, they would just put all the whole mockups there, and that's just it. No, far from it. It's just too far from it. That's just like you've not done anything. To be honest, I'm not just trying to discredit you, but maybe after this video you should go back and redo some of those things if you really want to start getting DMs like I do, or start getting calls, because some of these messages like this is something that I can actually encourage you to come up with a beautiful case study to articulate how you actually achieved some of the things you did in your design. What was the thought process? What did you do different? How did your thought influence some of the designs you made? This is what I did. I used this plugin mockup. This is the plugin that I used. Mockup. Yeah, look at it here. Mockup Studio. This is the plugin you need to download to get some of these things. So once you just download it, you select the frame and place it on your file. So here are the case studies. This is what it looks like. And when you're designing, please make sure that the width is up to 2000 so that it will be very readable. Make sure that the width is up to 2000. Mine is 2571. You can actually use this. Then if you're using 2571, make sure your text is, see this AIG text is up to 28 width. Look at it here, is 28 and the spacing is 43. So you can actually use this to write your case studies. For the body text, for the heading, I used 48, and for the sub I used case study header 32. So this is 32 and 45 pixels for the spacing. So here you will see everything you saw there was the. So what you do is, after you finish designing this thing, you just select it and exports one after the other. Export them one by one. Select this one, export one by one. The reason why you have to break this, you don't have to make it so long so that it will not, when you make it that long, Figma will start to drag. If you're using maybe 16 gig RAM or 8 gig RAM, it will start dragging. So just make sure you have it broke like this. I'm using M2 chip. I'm using MacBook 2022, and it doesn't drag, to be honest. So it runs smoothly. And here is the personas that I did. You see, everything is on auto layout, so I had to do this. And this is how I did the competitors research analysis. So this is what it looks like. So everything is just done in Figma. You just do everything in Figma, the case study and all those stuff. Nothing here is screenshots. That's why I had to take my time to write it and design it one after the other. This case study, even the case study, is not a screenshot. It's a raw Figma file that I designed. Is not a screenshot. So here you would see the prototype. This is just the screenshot because I had to do the prototype, snap this, just screenshot how this thing looks. So here you see the usability test, and everything that I did here is on Figma. This one I did on Figma too. All these stuffs I did on Figma. This also. So here is your before and after. So you will see how I actually designed this. And now if you want to do this without any live projects, the only thing you have to do is to use my template. Another way to go about it is use my template and involve the help of ChatGPT. What you're going to do to actually if you don't, if you've not done this project, you can actually design this and test run it with maybe friends and let them highlight some of the problems that could be wrong with this design. Then you go back and solve it. The ones that you used for the problem could be your before, and this one could be your after, right? You are still testing it with the end users. Now you just have to highlight the problems they pointed out and the solution you provided. Why did you design this way? So it will actually give you an idea of what real life user testing looks like. Right. So the same thing with these ones, just some part of the app. I would advise you to make it up to 5 or 6, right, before and after usability study. Then use your friends, maybe 10 or 5. Use them to actually get in first-hand information about this. Let them be like potential customers about this. All the steps that I've actually added here, use your friends to test it. If you don't have any life project you're working on, just get few friends and let them talk to you about some of the things they feel about this. If it's going to be a if it's going to be a fintech app, or if it's going to be any kind of app, any form of app you want to build, just use few friends to test it. Tell them, make sure you inform them. So all these things you're going to test run it with your friends. That is the way to, that is another way you can actually build a case study like this. You shouldn't wait till you work. Don't tell yourself, oh, I've not worked on any particular project. I don't have any project that I've worked on. How do I come up with a case study? Come up with a business idea. Come up with you should provide yourself the brief, right? It's allowed, because if you're talking to the hiring manager, you tell them that, oh, this is not a live project. This is something that an idea that I came up with just because I wanted to have something on my portfolio, and I had to actually test run this with my friends, right? So this is something that you need to do, and tell them the outcome, what you did, what you learned from the whole stuff, and how you conducted this whole stuff. Don't lie about it. That's the worst thing you can actually do to yourself, because when you get into the company, you will face the real stuff. They will know that, oh, you don't actually have a first-hand experience about this stuff. You might not pass your 3 months probation, you might not make it to your 6 months probation. They will just I've mentored some people that actually did try to play fast one, and at the end of the day they couldn't even make it to the first 2 months. So now you know the secret of how you can actually go about this, even when you've not done the real project. I'm going to also be disclosing so many other secrets that would help you as a newbie or as a young designer that is coming on board, how you can actually leverage on so many tools, or even ChatGPT, how you can leverage on it to land your first role. Prepare yourself very well so you don't settle for less, because a lot of guys out there looking for who to use. Don't fall prey, because you're just starting. People would want to use you and be like, oh, you just have to do this, and at the end of the day they will give you stipend or tip. I've gotten a lot of designers that comes to my DM to complain about this. I always tell them, you just have to be firm if you truly know this, because the problem is that a lot of young designers like cutting corners. Don't cut corners, please. Don't cut corners. Make sure to do the right thing.